Do not learn how to soundproof on Google. In this lesson, I'm going to show you guys why doing a typical Google search, how to soundproof, will lead you down the wrong path and probably leave you more confused and honestly more dangerous from a lot of information that won't get you the results you want to build your home recording studio. So this video is for you if you're on that journey of trying to research your home recording studio and you want to know what is the right way and what are the things to look out for when you are trying to research your home recording studio and how to make it soundproof. Before we jump in, I always have a free resource for you. This is my free soundproofing workshop. It's 45 minutes of in-depth teaching going over everything I know about soundproofing and giving it to you for free. So if you're interested of learning how to build a soundproof home recording studio, definitely check out that workshop at soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. All right, my name is Wilson Harwood, and I am a professional studio designer and acoustician based in Nashville, and I just want to help you guys build your home recording studio right the first time. Let's dive in. All right, so let's go into why you shouldn't do this. To do this, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do how to soundproof, and I'm using a browser I don't usually use. It's still probably tailored to me, but I'm just trying to give you a good idea of what this was like. I was going to use an incognito one, but I don't think the results are any difference. So anyways, as we look here, the first thing is the AI overview that Google always now gives you. To soundproof a space, you can use a variety of materials and techniques, including acoustic foam. Acoustic foam is only useful for acoustic treatment, and even then it's something I never recommend because usually it's really thin and it doesn't do a very good job of absorbing sound in your room, and that would fall into the category of acoustic treatment, which, remember, has nothing to do with sound isolation. So acoustic foam is wrong. Acoustic panels. Again, acoustic panels better than acoustic foam, but also has nothing to do with soundproofing or sound isolation, so therefore that would be misleading. Soundproof curtains, I've done a whole video on soundproof curtains. They don't really work. They are, if anything, they're going to help with, again, covering a window and getting some sort of reduced reflection in your room, but even then it's kind of thin, and the big thing that would help with that is the air gap behind the curtain, which most people wouldn't want to have because that would look weird. So again, not a good way to reduce noise if you're trying to do any serious recording or build a serious home recording studio. Soundproof drywall, again, this actually could help you. However, I never recommend it because it's like $60 to $150 per sheet, which is insane when you can spend $17 for 5/8 inch drywall and it will be just as good if you do 2 layers of drywall and you don't need the viscoelastic materials in the middle and stuff like that. It's just a gimmicky way for you to spend more money. Acoustic fiberglass, a combination blanket with a sound barrier backing that can be used to cover walls, create enclosures, or temporary barriers. No, I've done this many times. Rock wool, fiberglass alone, insulation alone will never be what's actually making it soundproof or sound isolated. I've done a ton of videos on why I think rock wool doesn't soundproof, and I continue to stand strong. The fiberglass is important, or the mineral wool is important in the wall to reduce damping inside the wall or resonance in the chamber, but you still need mass, decoupling, and an airtight room for it to truly be soundproof. All right, resilient channel. First thing that I'm like, okay, I actually agree with that. Fill gaps, seal any cracks or gaps in the wall. I also agree with that. But the important thing to realize here is that this all is very misleading because this is all artificial intelligence based on all the other stuff out on the internet, which also is incorrect. So keep in mind that this is a very technical aspect. This is cool. So this has Graham with Music City Acoustics. I haven't watched his video yet. But we could say how to soundproof your office. That's interesting. Let's take a look at him real quick. Okay, so I just briefly watched this, and you guys can too. I know Graham here in Nashville. He does Music City Acoustics, super nice guy, and he knows his stuff. So he's not going to mislead you, but he is going to tell you all about acoustic treatment first, because that's what he sells. And then towards the end, he talks about simple ways to kind of reduce sound. It's not soundproofing. And I am guilty of this too. We all say soundproof. It's not true. It just soundproofing. If I use the word sound isolation, no one would know what the heck I'm talking about. When you say soundproof, it's just like the common nomenclature in English to say soundproof, even though we know it doesn't really work. So with this idea of sound reduction, he talks about putting seals around doors. He talks about building a little window plug, but all of that is not going to give you the level of isolation you truly need if you're trying to play drums or record a band or something like that. So again, slightly misleading there. Let's go back to good old Google here. The best way, good old Reddit. Let's kind of look through this real quick because this is kind of fun. Hang heavy blankets used for sound dampening is on the walls. Use acoustic caulk needed for the door frame. Yeah, that's not a good idea. That's just going to look really terrible and use up all your heavy blankets. A bit of foam is not going to do much. The sort of noise you want to do is incredibly expensive, requiring a specially built room. This is very true. Get a headset and be quiet. Yeah, typical nice friendly comment. Keep your voice down. Not very helpful. The foam, yep. So you can see here, you can go down these forever. You have to cover your walls in human hair. Not very helpful. And yeah, we stay away from Reddit. Okay, this one, how to soundproof your room. Let's look at Everest Windows. These guys are trying to sell windows. Yeah, let's just whatever. So these guys talk about blah, 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 blah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Sound damping by reducing blah, blah, blah. Adding mass, that's good. Decoupling, that's good. Sound absorption, remember, is not for isolation. That is only going to be used for making the room sound good by reducing reflections. And distance is kind of like a cop-out. Like, obviously, the farther away from the sound you are, the quieter it will be. So this is like, again, kind of like a, not really for sound studios, but it might help with your basic windows and things like that. So what can you do here? Cavity wall, stud wall with insulation, soundproof wall panels. So these are subjects to soundproofing an existing wall. Can be injected with polystyrene insulation to increase insulation. I don't even know what they're doing here, but I wouldn't do that. A stud wall can be built against a party wall to create a small void that helps reduce sound. Sort of true, although if you keep the drywall on it, it's actually not going to be as good as if you built a wall without taking the drywall off. Insulated drywall boards are specialists on. No, I wouldn't do any of that. So yeah, the clip system, yeah, that's better. And then you kind of go into like, there's just no easy solution. So anyone who's promising like an easy solution probably doesn't really know what they're talking about there. So again, they're trying to sell windows, so maybe not the best source. This video, I've done another video on, and this guy, Home Reno Vision, he is doing really well out there on YouTube and has millions and millions of views. But I don't agree with a lot of what he's saying, and I'll explain why. And I also have another video, but I just wanted to show you guys this one because it pops up in everyone's search results. Okay, so soundproofing a room, it's easier than you might think. Again, this leads into the easy is never the way to go, per se. You'll see that he's got a ton of this Sonopan behind him. I do not like Sonopan. I think it's another product that's out there that's just kind of like taking resources away from where you should spend your money in other places. So Sonopan is like basically insulation made out of wood, from what I understand, has no mass, but it's claiming to add tons and tons of isolation. I'm not saying that it might not work somewhat. It's just not the most effective use of your funds, your budget, to soundproof. And this guy goes through a whole home renovation where he uses Sonopan and he does all these things, but he doesn't decouple. He doesn't, use acoustic sealing. He doesn't do anything of what I teach, basically. And I think his results at the end of the video, you can watch it, are really not that impressive for the amount of money they probably spent on the project. So again, another example, someone with a ton of credibility, 3.42 million, you're like, oh, he must know exactly what he's talking about. You got to be careful. There's people like this all over the internet and contractors who say they know a ton about soundproofing, but they really haven't done the research and they've really only done what works for them. And then they claim that that's the best way to do it. End of rant. All right, let's look at some other things. Again, he shows up here. Cheapest budget way for soundproofing a room. I wanted to show this one too. This is another video that I have watched. I like the soundproof guide, but this video in particular just really doesn't grasp the gravity of what soundproofing is. It's a lot like the video up here with Graham right here that kind of shows like some simple, cheap tricks that don't really get you what you want if you're trying to actually build a soundproof home recording studio. So again, you're going to go down this rabbit hole. Let's look at the Home Depot. I haven't checked out this one before. So these guys, egg crate foam, yeah. Soundproofing windows, drapes and curtains, hang noise canceling curtains. Don't do that. That's just going to be a waste of money. Those are like $300 if you look for like acoustic curtains. Soundproofing doors. Yeah, you can seal up around the door, but it's not going to add enough mass. Again, this is like a typical homeowner sort of solution. It's not going to work for you if you're building a soundproof studio. Soundproofing floors, they say rubber commercial floor mats, rubber gym flooring mats. That could help a little bit with like floor stomping or foot noise, but it's not going to stop like a guitar amp that you're cranking up or a drum kit, that you have set up on your floor or your subwoofer on your floor. Rugs and carpeting, no. Underlayment, no. For flooring, you need a soundproof, you need a concrete slab, hands down. If you're gonna not build on a concrete slab, you gotta float your floor, and that's gonna give you less results for more money. What else are they talking about? Acoustic wall paneling, acoustic panels. Again, that's acoustic treatment. It has nothing to do with soundproofing. Soundproofing is ceiling. Acoustic ceiling tiles will not do anything. That is insane. You need to decouple and add mass. So Home Depot, again, huge company, pretty much don't agree with anything that they say here. Of course, they get first page of Google. There's me doing this exact thing on Instagram, and now I'm making a YouTube video about it. Let's look at a couple more of these, and then we'll get to the bottom of the first page of Google. The Spruce, let's see what they have. So again, foam panels is not going to do anything, especially thin foam. That's going to only treat like the high frequencies, like maybe like even 1,000 hertz and above, maybe down to like 600 hertz or something like that. But really, this stuff does nothing. Home decor, bookcases, cabinets, furniture. No. We're not doing this stuff if you're serious about sound isolation. We're not just putting bookshelves against our walls. Mass loaded vinyl is super expensive, $3 a square foot. You can just use 2 layers of drywall, and that is 55 cents per square foot versus about $1 per square foot. No. That's for the cheapest stuff. 16th inch high dense. Nope. You got to use the 2-pound stuff. Man. Acoustic panels. Nope. We talked about that. Acoustic foam. Nope. Conventional drywall. Yes. There we go. Nice. 2 sheets can be laid on top of it. Okay, good. Nope, no soundproofing drywall. Costs more than conventional drywall, but 1 layer gives you almost as much sound as 2 layers. Yeah, but it costs like 10 times the amount of money. It's crazy. How to soundproof doors, replace doors. Okay, yeah, replacing hollow doors or thin doors. That's good, actually. Solid core doors is a good. Door curtains, nope. Draft stoppers, yes, but you need mass under there, and it needs to be more than that. Window inserts, window curtains, or that's not really going to work. So again, you see this common thing of like, let's just get some very easy solutions. For your average homeowner, this could work, although I feel like you're still going to be underwhelmed with what results you get. And then here they talk about adding ceiling fabric or ceiling clouds, install acoustic ceiling clouds. Again, this is all internal reflections. It has nothing to do with stopping low bass frequencies or really loud sounds. Okay, so that was that one. Soundproof Cow. Let's just do one more. Soundproof Cow. These guys are a legit soundproofing company, so you would definitely expect them to know what they're talking about. So let's see what they have to say. How to soundproof a wall. So, blah, blah, blah. Use these. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, use these channels. That's good. They're going to recommend. The thing that I don't like about the sound companies is they're like, okay, here's how you soundproof. Here's all of our materials you need to buy. So you need to buy their quiet barrier, you need their quiet barrier tape, you need their echo absorber, you need their ISO tracks, and then finally you can just buy some drywall. So no, you don't need any of this. You can use anybody's ISO, the cheapest clips and the cheapest isolation assemblies that you could find that still do a good job, and 2 layers of drywall, regular fiberglass insulation, and none of their materials. You don't need to spend any money on this cow. It's just not necessary. So like they're going to try to sell you all these things in their IsoTrack system, which is super expensive for what it is. I've done all the research on that before. Again, you're going to get ripped off if you get your information from the person trying to sell you the stuff for soundproofing. Let's go to one last thing. This is the last thing, acoustical surfaces. I actually like these guys usually more than other companies. They're still not my favorite. How to soundproof your room in 3 steps. Yep. Good. This is good. And then they're going to recommend all their stuff. Common soundproofing materials include mass-loaded vinyl. Don't use that. Soundbreak. Don't use that. These clips are good. Don't use green glue. Alrighty. And then common sound absorbing materials. Sound absorption. That's cool. And then identify your noise source. Okay, sure. And then choose the right materials. Walls. Soundproofing may involve decoupling inner and outer layers. That's good. Ceilings. Yeah, damping compound. I don't use those, but you can spend and waste your money on that. Sound absorbing can involve, yep, floors. Carpet with a dense pad. Nope. None of this stuff is going to work for what you guys need. So again, they have to play to everyone's level of soundproofing, which is really this like consumer-based soundproofing market that does not work for home recording studios at all. This is why my channel, my whole sort of teaching method exists, is to try to cut through all the noise out there. So back to my focus here. If you go on the first page of Google, I think only like 10% of what we looked at, I actually would agree with. And a lot of it is extremely misleading, coming from still big reputable sources that you might trust. You just can't trust them when it comes to soundproofing. All right, I hope that was super helpful. As you can see, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet. And even on that first page of Google, there's a lot of places you could go wrong, waste valuable time researching something that's not going to help you, or just having to sift through a lot of inaccurate information just to find the little golden nuggets of accurate information hidden in the blog articles. So if you're interested in not having to do that, remember you can always check out my free soundproofing workshop that goes straight to the point for what you need for your home recording studio. To watch that, just go to soundproofyourstudio.com/workshop. And for those of you who are like, I don't know if I want to just like DIY all this, like you said, you're a professional studio designer. What if I want to work with you? What if I want to, hire you to design my studio for me? Because I value my time and my money. Well, if that's the type of person you are, definitely check out my free Soundproof Clarity Call on my website. Just go to soundproofyourstudio.com, click on the Soundproof Clarity Call button. You can fill out a couple of quick questions to make sure you're a good fit, and then you can jump on a 30-minute Zoom call with me in person to talk about your studio goals. All right, my name is Wilson Harwood. Again, I'm a studio designer and acoustician based in Nashville. I will see you all next week with more information on soundproofing and room acoustics.